Cozy season is ahead, and you'll be spending way more time inside. Is your home ready? Don't worry. With Wayfair, you can upgrade your space without breaking the bank. Score up to 70% off during their Labor Day clearance on furniture, area rugs, mattresses, and more. Plus, surprise flash deals you can't miss. Whether it's one room or the whole house, Wayfair has pieces for every style and budget.
Shop Wayfair's Labor Day clearance now through September 7th at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, August 27th, 2026. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Before America was born, women were already fighting for her. From Abigail Adams to Agent 355. Experience America's untold heroes through immersive cinematic storytelling unlike anything you've heard before. Meet the Defiant Ones. Listen now on the Washington Times or wherever you get your podcasts. Meta has agreed to pay states up to $17.1 billion and implement new safety features for teen social media users in a landmark settlement over allegations it pushed harmful content to children. Susan Friedshare reports the agreement requires Meta to implement a series of new safety features for children who use Instagram and Facebook. That including time limits to curb their scrolling. The agreement also requires Meta to block children from using Instagram and Facebook from midnight to 6 a.m. and limit access to the platforms during school hours, among other changes. 33 states sued Meta 3 years ago, claiming Facebook and Instagram knowingly feature addictive and harmful content while hiding that information from the public. Meta is required to pay the settlement over the next 10 years. It holds back about 30% of the money, or more than $5 billion, until YouTube and TikTok agree to adopt the same safety measures. Authorities in Las Vegas have arrested a man who wore a Halloween-style mask and threatened people on the streets of Philadelphia this month. Matt Delaney reports the U.S. Marshals Service arrested 22-year-old Zymir Hughes Tuesday. He faces charges of aggravated assault, terroristic threats, harassment, and intimidation linked to encounters with at least 15 people. Philadelphia police said Hughes approached a female jogger and asked, "Are you ready to die?" before chasing her. She fell and suffered injuries to her leg and back. Officials believe Hughes carried out the run-ins to seek social media attention. Investigators say Hughes left Philadelphia August 19th and flew from Trenton to Orlando before heading to Las Vegas. President Trump's aggressive tariff policies have shrunk the U.S. trade deficit while pushing up consumer prices, a mixed record that threatens to harm him politically. The president's most recent trade moves triggered more economic and political shockwaves, our Jeff Murdoch reports. His suspension of tariffs on beef infuriated U.S. ranchers and Republican lawmakers while serving as a tacit acknowledgement that tariffs raise prices. Then, the collapse of trade talks with Canada has ignited a tariff war likely to hurt the U.S. auto industry. The trade fights are the latest examples of the president's tariffs creating more economic disruption than the relief they were intended to deliver. Roughly 0.5 percentage point of inflation was added solely because of the tariffs, according to data from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. A federal judge has declined to order Texas to extradite an ICE officer to Minnesota. Stephen Dinan reports Judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr. of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Texas said the law allows Texas Governor Greg Abbott time to review the request. He said he won't impose an artificial deadline on the governor. Minnesota fears that the officer, Christian Castro, will flee to Mexico if given the chance. Minnesota said Abbott is being stubborn and refusing to carry out the extradition, which, in most other cases, would be a routine matter. And finally, Foreign Affairs correspondent Von Cockane takes a look into the true intentions behind Iran's terrorist proxy networks in Europe. These groups focus on symbolic targets, including public opponents of Iran and critical journalists, rather than major security sites. Whether an operation succeeds in neutralizing a dissident voice often doesn't matter, experts say. The attacks themselves have a delegitimizing effect on Western governments. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.